Nah, man. I mean, I feel like we ain't ducking no smoke, but yeah, we wanted the Knicks matchup. Of course, that's the easier team, I guess.
We ain't ducking nobody, but we wanted the New York Knicks. We think that's an easier team to beat. Paul Reed said it, I ain't say it, but the reality is we know the reality. The New York Knicks are way easier to beat than the Boston Celtics. In fact, I got the Philadelphia 76ers beating the New York Knicks because who gonna stop Joel? And like Joel took over every play down the stretch versus the Miami Heat in which we know probably will beat the Knicks too, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't give a fuck about what he said. I could really care less. I guess, that I don't care.
It's just funny how these clips pop up on social media of guys with podcasts, but they don't actually watch basketball, and it's even funnier that it's coming from Draymond Green. But I'm not surprised because, of course, he's going to be rooting for the 76ers just like everyone else is. The Knicks were the 2 seed in the East, yet they're being treated like they're the 7th seed. The Knicks are the favorites in the series. The Knicks are the higher seed. The Knicks, the last time they played Joel Embiid, he had one of his worst games of the season. I get that Philadelphia is 31-8 when Embiid plays, but Embiid is not 100%, not to mention that he's just not the same guy in the playoffs. You look at 48 postseason games for Embiid, he's averaging 5.2 points, 2.4 rebounds, and 0.6 assists in the fourth. And on top of that, he's had some pretty bad series. I mean, the guy, looking at his numbers, he's had 2 series where he averaged 20 or less, and he's had a couple more as well when he averaged under 25. I mean, this is a guy that has the highest differential from scoring in the regular season compared to the playoffs. It's almost 10. So Embiid's averaging nearly 10 points per game less in the playoffs versus the regular season. And it makes sense because his game is predicated a lot off of getting to the free throw line. And in the playoffs, they tighten up the officiating and they don't give players a lot of those calls. Even Isaiah Hartenstein spoke to the media yesterday or the day before saying that Embiid is hunting for free throws essentially, and I'm not quoting him, I'm just paraphrasing, but that's what Embiid does. The guy in the playoffs has more free throws than he does field goals, and the Knicks, they're the best defensive team in the NBA, especially after the OG trade. So in January from there on, they're number 1 in defensive rating. They're 20-3 with him in the lineup. The Knicks are the most physical team, in my opinion, defensively in the NBA. They make it difficult on just about anyone. And for Philadelphia, it's just crazy to me that so many people have the Knicks losing to them, because look at the play-in game. Yeah, the Heat, of course, they lost by 1. The Sixers won by 1, but it wasn't anything crazy. I mean, Tobias Harris had 9 points. Looking at Kelly Oubre, he had 11 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Kyle Lowry was 3 of 10. Embiid was 6 of 17. The reason why the Sixers won that game is because Nicholas Batum was 6 of 10 from 3 for 20 points. I mean, how many games this week and moving forward is Nicholas Batum going to drop 6 threes and score 20 points? It's just not going to happen. And for Philadelphia, they do have an MVP and they've got Tyrese Maxey, but outside of that, there isn't anything that I'm too worried about. And I'm not even too worried about Embiid because he's nowhere near healthy. The guy hasn't even dunked the basketball since he came back from the injury, and he's just terrible in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson's one of the best clutch performers in the league. He's one of the best players overall, of course, but in the playoffs last year, he torched the Cavs, who had a top defense. He torched the Heat, who had a top defense. And the difference between the Knicks from last year and this year, a big thing is defense, but it's more so of guys that can go and score the basketball. Dante DiVincenzo is a huge upgrade. Miles McBride has taken the next leap. Bojan Bogdanovic, we've seen him get hot in a hurry. The Knicks didn't have a player like that. I mean, the Knicks were relying on RJ Barrett and Quentin Grimes to be able to make a play, and Julius Randle was out there, but he wasn't even close to being healthy. So, I mean, the Knicks, they're healthy, they're locked in, they're ready. Are they well rested? Probably not, because of course with all these injuries, Tibb has pushed up the rotation. But the reason why the Knicks finished with the 2 seed is because Tibb pushed up the rotation. If he hadn't been playing these guys these minutes, we wouldn't be where we are. Having the 2 seed is significant because you're going up against banged up Joel Embiid, and then you have home court throughout the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. If for some reason the Celtics do not make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, then the Knicks would have home court because they're the next highest seed. So, and also the 2 seed, they're gonna be able to get the second lowest matchup, assuming Boston wins. So the Knicks are in a great spot. Yeah, it's definitely frustrating hearing the outside noise of people betting against you, but if we're being honest, I'd rather people pick against the Knicks, because what benefit is there for everyone to say that the Knicks are easily going to win the series, the Knicks are easily going to win the championship? It's more motivational for the team for people to pick against them. I mean, Jalen Brunson a few days ago as well was having a press conference, and he wasn't even picked for Team USA. I mean, Jalen Brunson is doing some things that we've never seen before, especially at his size as a smaller guard, but even overall. The guy's putting up Kobe, Jordan, Steph, Wilt Chamberlain types of numbers, and yeah, he's getting recognized for it. He's getting Player of the Month, Player of the Week, but he wasn't even put on Team USA. Brunson might not even, or I should say probably won't even make the first team All-NBA. So moving forward, that's only going to motivate him. It's only going to make him better, and it just gives him something additional to play for, because Brunson, he was one of the most doubted free agent signings in really NBA history. I mean, the Knicks brought him in from Dallas. They gave him at the time, which seemed like a big contract, but then you thought about it and it was like, this isn't even remotely close to being one of the top paid guards in the league. I mean, there are about 27 players in the league overall right now making more than Brunson. And of course, he goes into the playoffs, he's the #1 option, he's a smaller guard, and now everyone's saying that, oh, you can't win a championship with a player like that. I mean, I get it. Steph Curry is certainly an exception. I mean, we just haven't seen a player his size be able to go out there and do it. Allen Iverson did get to the finals, but ran into one of the best teams ever in that 0-1 Lakers team. But Brunson, he just has to go out there and continue to do what he's done all season, score the basketball, make it easy on his teammates. He's going to need help, though, because when you're playing a team for potentially 7 games, they're going to be solely keen on you. When you're in the regular season, yeah, you watch tape, this and that, but it's not as laser beam focused, but it will be in the playoffs. So it's going to be crucial for other guys to step up and make plays. Who that ends up being, we'll have to wait and see, but that's why you go out and you get OG, a guy who can create his shot, a guy who can knock down open shots. And the good thing for the Knicks is that they have as many three-point shooters above 40% as anyone in the league, right? You're not leaving Miles McBride open, Dante DiVincenzo. Josh Hart, you'll probably live with a 3-ball from him. But we know that Josh Hart can knock down threes, or he could just drive the ball and open up the defense because guys are going to be rotating. Alec Burks is a good shooter, but I don't even think he's going to be a part of our playoff rotation. OG's just under 40%. It's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks use their bigs. That's what I've been looking for months now. When Mitch was coming back, is how do the Knicks utilize the duo of Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson? Precious Achiuwa, maybe he'll get in, maybe he won't. I don't know. I mean, Philadelphia, they're actually not a big team. They've got Embiid, but outside of that, they're really just not a big team. So I feel like Achiuwa definitely will play some type of role. But yeah, looking at Embiid, I mean, since 2020, he's averaged less than 25 points per game in 3 of 7 playoff series, and he averaged 20 points per game or less in 2 of them. Embiid, I don't remember if I said this at the beginning of the video, but he has more free throws than he does field goals. I mean, Embiid is a fantastic player. He's not just a guy that gets to the free throw line, that's all he does. No, he's terrific. He probably would have won MVP again if he stayed healthy, but he's not the type of guy that the Knicks are truly going to be concerned with because he's not fully healthy. And even if he was fully healthy, the playoffs, he's terrible. So the fact that it's the playoffs, and of course he's going to be on the road to start up the series,
and he's nowhere close to being 100%.
The Knicks are going to be in a great spot. I still think Embiid has a good series. I think it's going to be tough. Yeah, they're going to double, triple him. But it's not even just about Embiid. It's about the guys around him. I mean, Tobias Harris, you can't rely on him. Kelly Oubre Jr. and Kyle Lowry, yeah, they're good players, but they're not going to consistently give you the type of production that you need to beat the Knicks, to beat a 2 seed. This just isn't high-powered enough of an offense to be able to stop or at least match up with the Knicks. And then defensively, I don't see any concern whatsoever for the Knicks to be able to score on this team. I mean, it's been very rare this season that the Knicks have not been able to put up points, and even the games that they haven't, they've locked in with their defense and found a way to win it. But this Sixers team, this is just a perfect first-round series. It's a team that's going to make you sweat. I don't see the Sixers winning more than 2 games in the series. Could I see them winning 2? Probably. I mean, sure. I mean, 6 games, I'd be fine with that. If the Knicks win this in 6 games, I'd be pretty content. But this is going to be the type of series just for the Knicks to warm up and to get into playoff mode. Yeah, the keys for this series, it's going to be Brunson continuing to be the Brunson we've seen all year. It's going to be Dante DiVincenzo shooting a ton of threes and hopefully making them. The role players is going to be the thing as well. We talked about how the Sixers, I don't really love the role players. I do love the Knicks role players. McBride, Boyan, Isaiah, OG certainly isn't a role player. I don't know why he's in the notes. I mean, the guy's, or I would say, our second most important player on the roster with Randall being hurt. But if our role players outplay their role players, we're going to be in a fantastic spot because we know Brunson's going to get his, and we know the starters are going to get theirs. It's just what can we get out of this bench? The Knicks had a fantastic bench. A large reason why the Knicks finished with a 2 seed is sure Brunson, but it's also because of these role players. Miles McBride, Josh Hart, these types of guys were able to step in and find a way to get it done. Bojan's going to be absolutely critical in this series. We understand that he's not a good defender, but again, the Knicks don't need defense. They're already the best defensive team. They need guys that can shoot the basketball, that can shot create. I said this the moment we traded for him, is that there's going to be a game or two this playoff run where he single-handedly wins us a game. He's just going to get hot in a hurry. Similar to Batum, when he knocked down those 6-3 second half, he went sort of got on fire. He was unleashed. I think that's going to be Bojan, man. I really do. Yeah, the Knicks will win this series in either 5 or 6 games. I'd be fine with 6 games. I mean, yeah, sweeping them would be great, but the Philadelphia, they are going to win at least 1 game, maybe 2, but I do think the Knicks will take care of them in Philadelphia to close out this series. They won't even have to go back to the Garden for a Game 7. And outside of that, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Have a blessed weekend. It's your boy, Knicks Daily. Peace.